Buddy, good morning. Good morning. I hope everybody's doing well. It's so good to see you. Welcome to Money in the Morning. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and it is great to have you guys in this morning. How's everybody doing today? Hope you're feeling good. I'm feeling good today. I wasn't even in the 5 a.m. club today. I was actually in the 4 a.m. club. Believe it or not, I got up super early, but when you get up that early, you got to go take a nap afterwards. So I got up and did some work and went to the gym and came home. I was exhausted. So fortunately, I am back to normal though. I'm feeling good right now. And so anyway, hope everybody's doing well. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And today is to me just such a great opportunity for us to change our lives. As you saw yesterday, we had Dr. Boyce Real Estate, and we brought in Constance Carter again to talk about estate planning, legacy building, stuff like that. And speaking of that, given that estate planning, legacy building is becoming a big important part of what we're doing in the Black Business School right now, I wanted you to know that the Dr. Boyce Academy has an estate planning training, estate planning essentials training that you can sign up for, and I'll give you guys a big discount. It's $299 for lifetime access. We'll take 48% off the price for 2 days, and so I will send the text out a little bit later. You guys will receive it via text, so make sure you're on the text list. Text the word morning, MORNING, to the number 87948. Make sure you text morning to 87948. All right, so let me hop into this. Give me a yes or no in the chat on this. How many of you have ever heard of this term called ghost jobs? Has anybody heard of ghost jobs? Give me a yes if you know what that is, or if you've heard that at all. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of no's. I'm seeing a couple of yeses, but a lot of no's, a lot of no's. Yeah, I ghost jobs. Apparently, ghost jobs are jobs that are posted, but they don't exist. They're not real postings, and a lot of companies are doing this actually. It's really interesting. I don't know how many of you right now might be looking for a job, and I want you all to know that too. Like a lot of people think that because I'm very in favor of Black wealth, that I believe that we should all quit our jobs and be entrepreneurs. And I've never, ever, ever said everybody should be an entrepreneur. I've always said everyone should understand how to start a business just in case. And also, everyone should be a business owner on some level. Being an owner of a business does not mean that you're running a business. Let me know if you know the difference between the two. Let me know if you know the difference between owning a business and running a business. And so ownership doesn't always mean that you have to work. One of the falsehoods that we were raised on, which is extraordinarily incorrect, is that if you don't work, you don't eat, or that everybody has to work. And that's just not true. A lot of people own businesses. In fact, in America, the people that make the most money are the ones who don't go to work. They're not getting up this morning to go to the office, and they don't punch a clock or anything like that. So the ownership of businesses, ownership of assets is really what we're aiming for. I want you to control everything. I don't care if you got a job or not. Like if you got a job and you like it, I'm happy for you. You know, if you like your job and you want to keep it forever, then I think that is absolutely wonderful. Now if you don't like your job, then my goal is to hopefully be one of the Harriet Tubmans that can guide you off the plantation. And I think that's kind of something that is a subtlety that people sometimes mistake. It's just like the Democrat Republican thing. People think that because I'm not voting for the Democrats that I must be a Republican. And I just say no. I don't think either one of them are really doing a very good job. And I don't tell anybody else what to do. You guys know that. So the same thing is true there. I do not believe everybody needs to quit their job, or I don't believe that you're a sucker if you work for somebody. I just want you to have wealth. I want you to have financial security, and I want you to also have options. Options. Everybody type the word options in the chat. Options is a great word to use in the morning and afternoon and night. Everybody should have options. Just like E40 said, everybody got choices. I choose to get money. I'm stuck with this bread. That's a great song, by the way. Me and my wife came out to that song at our wedding, and my buddy Willie D, he was one of the ghetto boys. He was in the wedding. He said, "Hey man, if you had told me you was gonna play that song, I could have got E40 on the phone for you." And I was like, "Oh, I forgot that you know rappers because you're Willie D. Of course you know the rappers. I should have asked you." So anyway, E40 is, I love the Bay Area. Actually, Constance is from the Bay Area, and she's connected to a lot of the artists and stuff, Warren G and all that stuff. Maybe you can get Warren G to come in or something and talk about, I don't know. I'd love to just know about the economics of like what's happened since he made that song Regulate. Like just I don't know. I'd be curious to just know how much what happens in their financial life once they have a hit song because some of these groups don't really do very well, even when like they'll be on the radio every day and still be broke, still driving a Honda Accord, and people don't understand it because people think that when you become famous and successful in the entertainment industry, your whole life is going to change. And yeah, as you might already know, my cousin was in that group TLC, T-Boz, Tiana Watkins is her name. Our grandfathers are brothers. Her grandfather's name is Sam. My grandfather's name is Matt. And you saw the whole story about how TLC had their song plastered all over the nation, all over the world, on every radio station everywhere. And nobody and they were talking about how broke they were, right? So one of the interesting things about money and the reason financial literacy is so important is that it's not enough just to make money. It's not enough just to make money. You have to know where the money's at, and you have to know where the money's coming from, right? Like if I go and I do a job, like if I go work at a restaurant and I serve tacos, and I get paid because I'm the fastest taco server in the restaurant. I got to really just understand a little bit deeper than that. It's sure, I'm getting paid because I'm good at serving tacos, but I'm really getting paid because somebody's able to sell a taco. If there wasn't a whole marketing department, a distribution system set up to get taco meat to different, stores and franchise systems and all these other things, the supply chain, all the way down to just other aspects of the process, the ability to market to a customer and get them to buy a taco, if that all didn't exist, I would not make money. You understand? And so understanding business is important because then you can understand the mindset of a businessman. Let me just tell you, there's nothing more frustrating than to try to do business with somebody who doesn't understand business. It's really, really hard. I'm just going to tell you the truth. It's really hard because because they don't understand that they don't understand little basic things like talent alone doesn't always make money. Like being a great singer, nobody pays you money because you're a great singer. So when you show me that you sing as well as Beyonce, that really doesn't mean a whole lot. It just means you're going to have a lot of people cheering for you when you're singing songs on the corner. Like it means that they're going to put a lot of nickels in your bucket and and stuff like that. But it doesn't mean you're going to be rich and famous like Beyonce. Beyonce is a brand. Beyonce is a product. Beyonce is packaged and marketed to the globe with a certain image, no differently from the way they manufactured Toyota Corollas. So she's like Coca-Cola. She's like Mickey Mouse. That's so her uniqueness isn't just that she's beautiful. It isn't just that she can dance. It isn't just that she can sing. There are millions and millions of beautiful black women who can sing and dance their butts off. We have no shortage of women that can do that. What makes Beyonce unique is that she has a specific kind of branding that has positioned her in the market in a certain way, and that brand has become monetizable, no differently from the way Tyler Perry monetizes Medea. And what I really would like is for all of our children to understand these basics so they don't go into the world confused. They don't end up like I think I saw the artist Megan the Stallion. She signs her contract, goes out and becomes super famous, and then suddenly she realizes her contract was crap, or to her it was crap, or that she felt like it wasn't a fair deal. And I kind of feel like she should have known that before she signed the deal, but she probably wasn't even thinking about that, right? That's the assumption. The assumption is that your financial consciousness is so low as an artist that you're so focused on the music and the bling and the booties and the fame that you're not even thinking about the business behind what you're trying to do. And so you don't have an appreciation or understanding for how many, millions of dollars might have had to be invested in order to create the brand called Megan the Stallion, which, by the way, oddly enough, a stallion is, in case you want to know what a stallion actually is, it's an adult male uncastrated horse. I don't know why a woman would be a stallion, but that's just my little petty remark. I have to say that. You're an adult male uncastrated horse. don't they have like Phillies or something? Like, could you be Megan the Philly, or would that just be too feminine? Anyway, let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. People get mad when I talk like that. All right. So Megan the Philly, that's cute, right? Megan the Stallion's like, like think, imagine an adult male uncastrated horse. Can you imagine what would happen to you if you were stuck in a barn with a big adult male uncastrated horse who's like ready to breed? You might die that day, right? So see, stop it, boy. Stop it. Got to focus. All right. Here. So let me talk to you about this other topic, the ghost jobs. Okay, so let's get back. Let's get back to it. Okay, so ghost jobs. I saw some studies and I pulled up some data on this, but apparently I was shocked by this. Did y'all know that 50% of job seekers have applied for positions that were never filled and never even existed? They said 20% of job listings, I've heard as many as 30% actually, on job boards are believed to be what they call ghost jobs. They said 30% of companies admit to posting job openings to build a candidate pipeline, even when there's no immediate hiring actually happening. So in a way, it's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever like imagine like a woman who's dating like a really handsome 48-year-old man, who's never been married, never had kids. And she says, "Well, why have you never been married?" And he says, "Well, I just haven't met the right woman." But he's really handsome, he's super rich, and he's smart, and he went to medical school, and he's got all these things going for him. You should be suspicious of that. You should say, like, why? Wait, hold on, wait. You're this great and nobody married you. Well, I haven't met the right woman and women can't appreciate me. That's not true. That's not true. There's something beneath the surface. Not always bad though. It doesn't mean it's bad. I believe most of the time when somebody hits 40 and they haven't got married yet, even married and divorced, there's usually a reason why. It doesn't mean it's a bad reason though. It could be because I was so busy with law school and medical school or whatever that I didn't have time to date. It could be I was engaged for 2 years and it didn't work out, or it could be, maybe I don't like women that much and whatever. Or maybe it could be I don't ever plan on getting married. I'm just kind of dangling the prospect, right? And same thing can happen on the other side as well, right? Same thing when a man meets a woman. So it's not gender specific, in my opinion. I think that it says something, right? So what's happening with companies apparently is that a lot of companies are, and I when I talk to people about it, I found out, from people I know in corporate who say, yeah, oh yeah, our company does that too, is they like to kind of keep you dangling, keep you kind of hanging on because they want to have, well, what's the magic word? What was the word I told y'all to type in the chat earlier? Type it up. Remind me. I can't remember what the word was. It starts with an O. What was that word again? Oh, options. Options. That's right. Yeah. See, the companies like to have options. Why? Well, because they know that options are valuable. Options are beneficial. Unfortunately, options can be costly to others when you make them an option. Right? They always say, I think I saw someone say this about dating. They said, don't ever make someone a priority when they've just made you an option. So maybe kind of understanding that dynamic is important, right? So here, with companies, they say 1 in 5 job seekers report going through multiple rounds of interviews for a job that was eventually canceled or never existed. That's horrible. 75% of job seekers have encountered ghost jobs during their search, wasting hours on applications that lead to nowhere. Now, here are 5 reasons listed that companies create these ghost jobs. One, a lot of companies want to build a talent pool and keep a list of candidates in case they decide to hire someone. Two, they want to know just what's out there, like what are people asking for in terms of salary? What does the market have? Three, they sometimes they want to just give the appearance that they're doing well. They want to give the appearance that they're balling out of control and that they're growing, which is very interesting. Also, four, they like to test the market, not just to see what's out there, but to see what skills are available and what the salary expectations are. And then sometimes companies are just delaying. They're just basically allowing themselves to have plenty of time to make decisions because they have some sort of budget issue or budget delay. Okay, I see what someone says. You changed my life, Boyce. Well, good. Well, you changed my life too, and I'm glad I was able to help you in your journey. So my point is to say that this really speaks to a really sinister element of the job market that goes beyond the fact that it's already frustrating. I'm going to tell you the truth about why I haven't I haven't had almost no interest in searching for a job for a very long time. I have very little interest in preparing our kids to search for jobs. And And it's not because, we're all privileged and stuff. It's really because I think you could do this at, yeah, at any income level in terms of sort of deciding how you want to take on this economy. I made this decision before I had any money at all. And I didn't want to search for jobs because I didn't like the frustration of the process. I didn't like the idea that I didn't like the odds of like, okay, wait, you're telling me that 50 people are applying for this position, you're going to pick one, and I got to invest time. I have to make a real investment of time and energy, putting my resume together, getting dressed up, giving the time up to go to all these interviews. And you're gonna and I have a 1 in 50 chance of being the person you pick. That's kind of daunting, almost depressing. Like I think that the job market to some extent can be a little bit sad and depressing at times. I know we have to confront it, we have to deal with it. And a lot of us eventually find something that works. But typically, actually, most of the jobs I had were jobs where I was recruited, where someone, and when someone recruits you, there's less pressure. You kind of feel a little bit more flexible in your options. And what I would say also is this speaks to even more deeply to, in my view, the necessity for all of our people to really learn how to create options for yourself in case the job market does not give you what you want. I think that the amount of effort that it takes to train a teenage boy on how to fill out a job application and how to do a job interview, that it takes probably the same amount of energy to teach him also how to start a business or how to make money some other way legally that is going to allow him to supplement his income in the event that the opportunities don't emerge. Since we were talking about rappers earlier, I can tell you that the rappers who typically did the best in their negotiations with record labels were usually rappers who had something going on before they got into music. There was I hear stories about Master P, who was making so much money selling his albums out of the trunk of his car that he didn't want to sign a record deal. I talk regularly to D1, who walked away, who got a record deal and turned eventually walked away from the deal because he found that he was able to have more opportunities and more options. There's that word again, by being independent. So D1 has still been independent. He in his last album, for at least a little while. I don't know if it still is, but it was number 2 in the world, right behind Eminem. So he's really doing great, and I'm really happy for him. I saw him at Invest Fest this week. You also have MC Hammer. He talks about that. He says, "Yeah, I was making so much money selling the CDs out of the trunk of my car that I didn't really need a record deal because you couldn't pay me enough." And what that generally speaks to is that typically in negotiations, if you have options, you usually have a stronger negotiating position. And so desperate people don't tend to do well in any sort of market, whether you're talking, think about it. Imagine if you're talking about the dating market. Give me a yes or no. Does a person do better, or do they tend to do better if they're desperate, if they're really desperate and they're trying to find a relationship? Like if you're trying to find a man and you're just hungry for a man. Like you might just see a man and gobble him up like Chinese food, or a man who's super desperate to have a woman. I ain't had a woman in about 5 years. And he's out on the dating market, like just really super desperate. Do you think that's gonna help him in his prospects? Is that gonna make him more appealing? Is that gonna open more doors for him? Well, you know what the answer to that question is. The answer is no. Well, one of the things you should understand about the job market is that, and is in the dating market, is that you can analyze those markets similarly because they're all markets. In economics, that's all we would study is markets and how markets work, supply and demand and equilibriums and all these other terms that we have. And I can just tell you that a couple things about markets. One is that when you're in a market, the more options you have, the stronger your position is in the market. I also know that in the market, when the supply of something is high, the price for that thing tends to go down. So if you are oversupplying yourself to people that don't really value you, then they're not going to value you, if you know what I mean. Sometimes you have to not be available to make people understand how valuable you actually are. And then it's true. Again, it's been proven true in financial markets. It's been proven true in consumer markets. It's been proven true in labor markets. It's been proven true in dating markets. And this is it. So this is where maybe because I do streams of consciousness every morning, we're doing money in the morning. This is where I become Uncle Boyce and I say, hey, look, if you don't feel like you're being valued in the dating market, don't make yourself so readily available to people who don't value you. It's that simple. Like don't think, that's when I had when I married my wife, I tell you what, the internet is a crazy place. People just make up rumors and stuff. And there was a false belief that because I knew my wife 30 years ago, that basically she had me sitting around waiting in the friend zone for 25 or 30 years and decided to get with me because I suddenly had a lot of money. And it wasn't 20, 25 years, more like I knew her 30 years ago, but I think we started dating maybe 9 years ago or something. And people are like, "Oh, she had him in the friend zone the whole time, and now she only wants him because he's famous or he has money or whatever that people would say." And I was like, "No, I don't operate like that. I don't. Do you chase after people who don't want you? Is that what you do? You must be really unhappy because that's not a good strategy. You're never going to be valued in the space where you supply yourself to someone or something that doesn't value you. And this is one of the reasons why I believe Black people should create options for ourselves economically. Because when you have options, you can do a job search. Let's go back to jobs. Let's stop talking about the dating stuff. But you can do a job search from a position of power. If you talk about even politics, part of the reason that you don't get respected by the politicians you vote for is because you supply your vote and you don't ask for anything. You don't have anywhere else to go. If you say, "Hey, I don't like this relationship. I'm out of here." They say, "Sit down, idiot. You ain't going nowhere." Right? You ain't going nowhere. You like, "Yeah, I know you right. I'm not gonna go there because I can't go talk to no Republicans because that's bad." Right? I get it. I'm not making fun of you if you're a Democrat or Republican, but y'all know what it is. You know it's true. And so ultimately, if you have options, you're always more powerful in a negotiation when you have options, whether you're in a relationship or negotiating for a job or trying to go buy a car. If when I was in Egypt and I was negotiating with a guy to buy something, I wanted to buy some statue or something. And the guy was like, "It costs this much money." And I know that the first price they give you is the BS American price. So I'm like, I don't want to pay that. So he drops the price. He's like, "Okay, I charge you this much." And I'm like, "Nah." I said, "You know what? You know what I said? I said, um, I got to go talk to my wife about it first." And I knew he didn't want me to go talk because he wanted to get me while I was there, right? So he's like, "Okay, I charge you this much." So he chops the price. And I'm like, "That's a good price, but I think I need to go talk to my wife about it." And then he drops the price again. And I literally knew every time I said, "I'm going to go talk to my wife," I knew I was going to save another $500. Literally, like one sentence was worth $500. I was like, "Yeah, my wife is around the corner. I got to go ask her about it." I'm probably going to do that, but I need to go talk to my wife. "No, no, no. I take this much off the price," right? So it was kind of like this funny little game. And what I was basically doing was using tactics that I read in a book about negotiation. That literally, if I just, if I walk away from the table, if I have a credible threat that I will walk away and that I don't need to buy whatever you're selling me, you're going to keep on pushing that price down. You're going to keep on giving me a better deal because I'm letting you know that, look, bro, I don't have to be here. I don't have to be here. Right. So I think in most situations, generally speaking, whether you're talking about politics, a job, a relationship, or anything, if the other party knows that you ain't got to be here, they're usually going to deal with you differently than if they think you have to be there. So I think that with the job market, one of the problems we've had since integration as Black people is that I believe that those who do not wish us well, those who do not respect us the way we should be respected, they look at us and they say, "You have to be here. You ain't got nowhere to go. If I don't hire you, what else are you going to do?" When Dr. Myron Roll was a top draft pick for the NFL, they made the assumption with him that they make of all Black athletes. Well, where else would you go other than the NFL? Yeah, we know we're a plantation. Yeah, we know we got racists like Jerry Jones running football teams. Yeah, we know you're probably going to have brain damage when you're done and a lot of body aches and everything else. Yeah, we know that the average career span's only 2.3 years. Yeah, we know you guys don't exactly have the best labor rights. Yeah, we know you don't have much financial security, but what else you going to do? Where else you going to go? You people don't have any industry. You don't have anything of your own that you've built. Nobody in your community ever built an NFL for you because they don't care about you. Our people built us this NFL, so that's why we own the teams. We get to be all fancy and stuff. You just want to run up and down the field and catch the ball. So what else are you gonna do? And what I loved about Dr. Roll that I thought was great was Dr. Roll was like, I have a lot of things I could be doing. I think I want to go be a Rhodes Scholar. And they dealt with him differently. They're like, oh wait, oh uppity, we got an uppity Negro here. Like what's going on here? Like you mean you actually want to do something other than play in the NFL? Other examples, Jim Brown. Jim Brown had a budding career in Hollywood, and he was doing a movie, and they told him, you have to be back to training camp by a certain date, or you will lose your job. And Jim Brown said, I got other things to do. I got options now. Right. So I would almost say in general, when you whether you talk about the job market or anything else, there's a big difference between doing something because you want to versus doing something because you have to. That really impacts your leverage that you have in that situation. So whenever I mentor a lot of young people and stuff, and whenever they would ask me questions about life, I like answering questions about life. Life be lifing, and I've seen life a little bit, and I like kind of sharing what I know. It doesn't change what you do. It's more information, right? Who's hurt by more information? So I'll just say to them, I'll say, if they're having trouble with their boyfriend or their girlfriend, I'll say, well, I don't know what to do. I just know that if you have options, you're better off. Like I'll just say stuff like that. So just have some options. He ain't treating you right, girl. Just go find you some options. And when he sees you got options, I believe a lot of men will react differently if they think you have choices. If you don't have to be there, they're going to appreciate your presence. You want someone that appreciates you, not just somebody that tolerates you. And that's a rule that I've always lived by. I don't really. There's not a lot of places I go. Um, where I'm going to tolerate too much disrespect and mistreatment because it's not necessary. You shouldn't do that to other people anyway. And when I feel that, I always say, "Well, Boyce, it's your fault." If I don't have anywhere else to go, I say, "Why am I stuck in this situation where I have no choice?" And here's the thing: pay attention to this. There's a connection between a lack of options and a lack of freedom to the massive amounts of anxiety and depression in the Black community. There's a direct connection. There was a study they did on rats where they measured how depressed the rats were, and they measured that by how much serotonin was in their brain. And so what they would do is they would shock them. They would put them in a lot of pain, like how we as Black people we go through a lot of pain. So there would be these random shocks that the rats would be hit with, and so for one group of rats, they gave them an option. They eventually learned that they hit this little button, they could turn the pain off, they can make the pain stop. But then there were another group of rats that didn't have a button. They could not turn off the pain. They had no options. These rats had no options. So all they had to do was endure the pain, just endure the pain. And what they found was that the rats who had to endure the pain, who had no options, were far more depressed than the rats who had an option. So I translated that. I was like, oh, I get it. Now I know why so many of us are sad, why so many of us are depressed. It's because we ain't got no options. So if I love my child or I love my grandchild and I want my grandchild to live a happy and fulfilled life, then what do I do? I give them things more valuable than money. I give them a sense of purpose, and then I give them a lot of options. Because if they have options and they have a purpose, a person like that who lives a purpose-driven life where they're free to pursue whatever endeavor is going to maximize their internal utility is typically going to be far happier than a person who is operating on that. There you go, Calvin. Calvin said it right. That low vibrational sort of framework where you don't have any options, you don't have any choices. In fact, I made a funny little comment today because I just do that. I go around the internet and just troll and make stupid comments. And so I follow the shade room, and you know how I am. I mean, about 80% of what they post is gonna get on my nerves, right? So I'm gonna make some stupid little comment. So I saw something about this rapper Glorilla. No, it wasn't Glorilla. It was another one. I forgot. They got all these crazy names. They named up the gorillas and stallions. I don't know what that's all about. But there was another one. I forgot it. Lotto. And in this, and they gave her an award for something like the best trap artist or something, right? And I think I just said something real quick. I said, isn't it interesting that we claim to want freedom, but we love being in the trap, right? We claim we want freedom in one hand, but the next minute we're celebrating the trap. And I'm like, why would you celebrate the trap if you're claiming to be free? Because trap people aren't free. Do you understand? So what do you want? Do you want to have freedom, or do you want to bees in the trap? Make a decision, damn it. Like be consistent about, I don't want to be in the trap. Trap music to me was music that we made because we were trapped. You're a dope boy on the corner. You had no choice but to feed the family, except selling crack in the 1990s. And I get all that. You were in the trap back then, but it's not 1995 anymore. There's options out here. And I don't want any of our people in the trap. I don't want anybody to be in the trap that doesn't have to be. So I don't celebrate the idea of being in the trap. I don't. Rap ain't got nothing to do with the trap, in my opinion. Rap is not supposed to trap you. Rap is supposed to liberate you. Rap is supposed to elevate you. KR's One said, "You must learn." Queen Latifah told us to be unified. They used to tell us we all in the same gang, and they would tell you to elevate. X Clan told you to love Africa and to remember that you were kings and queens. Like that to me is what rap was supposed to do. And you can't convince me for a minute that there was not a plot and a plan to take one of the strongest art forms in the history and just flip it on its head and turn it into a weapon of mass destruction. Because you can destroy a man with ideas faster than you can destroy him with weapons. If I can destroy you internally, then I don't have to fight you externally. So I would just say overall, the trap is also something that doesn't just affect poor people. It affects a lot of us. I know a lot of college educated people that are in the trap. It's just a different trap. Maybe it's the student loan trap. Maybe it's the corporate job trap, right? Maybe there are other traps that you're in. So I want you to just kind of assess that and sort of understand what freedom looks like for you, and figure out how to get away from those traps and start creating options for yourself. People with options have power. Freedom is a type of power that I think everybody should have. Everybody should understand. All of our children definitely should have that. And it also starts with the economics. The economics is part of it. I did a whole training called the economics of self-defense. I'm sure it's out there somewhere if you want to go find it. Because I do believe that our economic preparation is important to keep us out of those traps. Because when your child is not financially intelligent, when they are not financially prepared, when they are not financially aware, and they go into a competitive capitalist society where they have to have money but don't know how to obtain it, don't know how to keep it, and have all the wrong ideas about how to use it, then that person's going to be a slave. That child is going to end up being a slave. They're either going to be a corporate slave at some job that they hate. Maybe they'll be a hip hop slave, like Megan the Stallion was for a while. She signed a slave contract, or maybe he'll just be a slave in the American prison system. Don't ever think that slavery does not exist. Capitalism has a direct pathway to slavery, and it's important to understand how to avoid that. Okay. So anyway, that's it for today. We're not going to go for too long. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. It was a pleasure as usual. A couple things. Number one, in the Black Business School tonight, we are having a special event with Dr. Lene Javette, and she's doing a special session called Concept to Cash Flow. A lot of you have great ideas. And what Dr. Javette is, the specific reason we hired Dr. Javette is because she is an expert on Black entrepreneurship. She's also an expert on processes. She's very good on creating the process, right? Building that bridge between where you are and where you want to be. So you can join that tonight for free. If you want to get a notification, just text the word morning to 87948 and get on the text list. I'll send you the notification in a little bit. Text morning to 87948. If you're out of the country, just go to drboyceelevate.com. Just that will get you on the email list. That way we'll send out an email as well. So that's going to happen tonight at 8. Number two, I mentioned to you all that I give you, for those of you that are in Money in the Morning, I give you an offer you couldn't refuse on the All Black National Convention because I want the right people to be there. We don't have a lot of tickets left. We will sell out. There's no doubt about it. So we've made just 50 tickets available at the general admission level and 50 at the VIP level, 10 at the President's Circle level. I will text that out to you guys as well, just to you. So make sure you're on the text list, and I will send that out. The convention is going to be in Lombard, Illinois, right outside of Chicago at the Westin Hotel. It's going to be October 25th to the 27th. Brother Nuri Muhammad is speaking. We've got about 60 experts coming, actually. But some of the bigger ones, Lamar Tyler, the Black millionaire maker, is going to be there. Of course, my wife, Dr. Alicia, is going to bring together therapy therapists so we can deal with the undiagnosed, untreated trauma in the Black community. Some of you who watch Fly Nubian Queen, some of the queens are going to be there as well. And actually, Dr. Cornell West, I know his vice president, Dr. Melina Abdullah, is coming. She texted me the other day and asked if we would be okay with bringing Dr. West in, and the answer was absolutely yes. So, in case you want to know, we don't bring people in because they're famous. We don't. I don't care how many albums you've made. Although rappers are invited, but they have to have the right ideas. I don't care how many times white folks put you on TV. All I care about is that you're Black first and that you are here to serve and support the Black community and that you care about our community before you start caring about other people. If you're in that category, then this is the place for you. So feel free to join us. The URL is allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. I'll text out that discount today. And if you guys are interested. And so that's pretty much it, guys. So I hope you have a great day. God bless you. Thank you so much for hanging out. And I will talk to you all soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.